This is my 2016 Mazda MX5 and we are rebuilding cars until we get a supercar. We've done a few cars already, but this one, we're gonna do a lot today. First, we're gonna get the airbag light off the dash and then we have to completely disassemble the front end of this car because we need to put this on it. This is the radiator support. This is the last thing stopping it from taking it to its written off vehicle inspection. Once the car passes this, it's legally able to be registered again. It's a big deal. And right after we took the car for the inspection, we actually found out who owned this car when it was crashed.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was my car.
And trust me, it's a cool story. Oh, I knew there was a turbo on it too. But first, we need to get rid of that airbag light by fixing the airbag control module. So first thing this morning, I went and paid a specialist to reset the crash data on this because you can't just clear the fault codes with the Autel, unfortunately. Let's get it in. Pop the battery back on with the car in neutral. We'll give it a start. And hopefully that goes off. There we go. I'm happy. That's worked. And then we'll put back the entire interior because you're going to take a lot out to get to that module. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, most of you watching aren't actually subscribed. And it'd mean a lot to me if you could take a second, hit the subscribe button and like the video. Thanks very much. With the interior all back in, it's time to move on to taking apart the front end of the car. Now, I've done this before, so lucky I know what I'm doing. I've done this so many times it's second nature. There's a bunch of bolts along the bottom, 2 bolts on the top, and then you pull the bumper out of the clips in the fenders. Then you can unbolt the headlights and start removing the fenders. That is how much space I've got to get this bolt out. This sucks. I hate this bolt, but I did get it out. Then I could take out all the other bolts on the fenders and take both sides off, giving us access to the radiator support we need to replace. Okay, now we're gonna use this air compressor and this little belt sander to essentially sand out all of the spot welds that are holding this radiator support onto the car, just like that, and then separate them from the panel. Then with this, we're gonna do the same, except from the opposite side, so underneath, and then we're gonna pop that onto there. This is our radiator support, and the reason we're replacing this is because it's taken some front-on damage, and that's bent the metal in a few places, mainly here and here. The first part's not so bad. The second part actually pushes the fender out of alignment because that's where it bolts to. And because this is technically a structural part of the car, it's metal welded together, and that's why we need to sand it. All right, so just to give you an idea, closer idea at least, of what I'm doing, I'm sanding off the spot welds and then I'm getting something, jamming it under and then separating the metal so that this thing will come off. It's already broken off a little bit, but you can see just with some slight levering, you can help, there you go, break the welds off just like that. And yes, it is quite loud. After a fair while though, we managed to get it off the car. Yes! We have removed the radiator support and yeah, I had to put a block of wood there because the actual hood stand is on this. So we just need to get this off of these chassis rails from the other side. Now the spot welds on the back side of this, some of them are made from a much thicker steel. So this took me forever to get through. I ended up running out of light and had to come back with a drill the next day. But I also got a lesson in PPE. Believe it or not, it's actually important. I was grinding without any goggles and I managed to get a metal splinter in my eye. You can see some of the rust still in it just here. So I chose to use a drill the next day. And I will say, if you're drilling through the metal, then this can be a much faster way to do it. Eventually, we got it off. There we go. Finally, we have the radiator support off, and we're gonna riv nut this off. So we're gonna put a riv nut just there, drill through that, pop it on, and reassemble the rest of the car. Also, please wear PPE because that really did hurt. And today I had to get the rest like scraped out of there, and they used like a needle. Can you imagine like somebody like pointing a needle towards your eye? It's yeah, it's not fun. And with that image burnt into your head, we went ahead and drilled out the holes ready for the riv nuts. The riv nut tool's pretty easy to use. You just force the thing shut and it puts a thread into the hole that you're going for. Then we can tighten things up, get everything in the right place, and voila. As you can see, lines up exactly where it was before. We're gonna get the crash bar on now and then start buttoning things up. The radiator support also holds where like the fenders are, so it's kind of important that that's in the right spot so the fenders all line up and everything. The crash bar is just 4 bolts on either side, and you got to snug them up pretty tight. So it's going to rain tomorrow. I think we should roll the car back out there and then put the fairings, at least with the fenders on. Like, I don't need to worry too much about rain or anything else. It'll also give us a chance to see if this radiator support is in the right spot and lines up. Yeah, it's pretty damn dark, but with the doors open, we can put the fenders back on the car, both sides. We'll put the bonnet down and then see how bad the panel gap is. Okay, and now for the moment of truth, we're gonna pop the bonnet down and just see if the right-hand side lines up better, because the whole reason we changed this radiator support was because that didn't line up. Oh yeah, that's way better. There we go. Check that out. Obviously, still gonna have some finessing to do with the bolts and the fitment, but that is way better. It's actually probably a little bit further out on this side, if anything. I'm trying not to do too much because I got an open wound in my eye, and if I get anything in there, there's a bit of a risk of infection, so probably shouldn't have even done the grinding and stuff I did tonight, but hey, there wasn't a lot, and this thing's looking way better, so for now, we're gonna move on. Today's the day. The day we take the MX5 for its written off vehicle inspection. Now, I have all the paperwork with me.
That's exciting.
Shut.
So you got it. Good luck with the inspection today.
Here is all the paperwork that I need, and we're gonna hope that it passes. It should. I've done everything right. I've got all the paperwork there. But if it passes this check, it means then all we have to do is paint it before it's ready to sell. So this is a really big deal. I'm not worried about the drive there because we did just drive this all the way back from Melbourne, 1,700 kilometers. So I've got a lot of faith in the car, but sometimes small things missed can lead to big problems. And if we have to come back here, it means I gotta take another day off work to do it. It's a real stuff around. And especially when you've bought a written off vehicle off Facebook Marketplace, you need to prove the person who you've bought it off owns it legally. And because we bought the car and parts off Facebook Marketplace, we need to prove that he owned the car that we're taking, as well as the donor car that all the parts have come off. So fingers crossed. So, did it pass or did it not? It passed. Very thankful. Yeah, I mean, next step for this thing is to get the front end painted and see if we can sell it. Also, while we were in there, I met a guy that messaged me on TikTok ages ago because he's seen my videos, seen what we do, and it was just good to have a chat to someone, you know? Sometimes it can be a bit stressful going to that inspection. You know, you got to take work off, you got to do this, you got to do that, and then if it fails, you got to come back and take work off again. So it is a stressful process, but I don't know, it was a lot of fun just sitting there and having a chat to that bloke. That was good. Yeah. Okay, this is crazy. I just seen this Mazda book in like the center console thing, and I think that I have found the origins of this car, and it's fucking cool. All right, so you see this big AVO sticker on the back of the car? They make turbo kits, is what they do. And I found a registration slip inside that owner's manual, and okay, so here is the previous rego slip that I found in the owner's manual for the MX5. As you can see, on this side we have the car and all its details, and on the other side we can see where it was previously registered to, and it was registered to Australian Turbo Systems. Now, I think this is a holding company for AVO. I think this might have been a show car for them and didn't actually get used, and that's why it's got so low Ks. We have their phone number and we're gonna give them a call. Advanced Vehicle Operations Australia.
Afternoon, AVO, Lee speaking.
Hey Lee, my name's Jeremy, how you doing?
G'day, Jeremy, how are you?
I'm trying to track down the history of a particular car that I actually think that AVO might have owned in the past.
Right.
I bought a crashed red MX5 and it's got some AVO stickers on it and everything, and I just found the registration certificate previously, and it's registered to you. It's got an exhaust on it. It feels like it's got a clutch.
Oh, ND.
Yeah, ND MX5, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that was my car.
That was your personal car?
Sorry?
That was your car.
That was, yes.
Oh, cool. I just look.
I made an error. I had the traffic going in front of me. I've gone to accelerate sort of reasonably hard because I wanted to pass. And as I was looking, they stopped just totally dead in front of me.
Yeah.
Fucking bang. And it was only a end of first gear hit. Yeah, and the airbags went off. And the front one, they said it's a write-off.
It has like it's got really low Ks on it.
Yeah, it was our R&D car. I had the turbo on it for about 10,000 K.
I knew there was a turbo on it too. Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, so there was a turbo on it at some point, yes. The turbo was off at that point because, to be honest with you, even though it happened at the time, I was not right then, but I was looking to sell it shortly.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, right. Yeah! How cool is that? So this car was owned by AVO Turbo. There was a turbo kit on the car, and as soon as I seen the as soon as I seen the rego slip, I went, I bet you this car had a turbo on it, and I'm spewing it doesn't have one anymore. But it is what it is. I think that's a great story and a great end to the episode. Next episode, we're gonna be painting it. Thank you very much for coming along the ride. This has been a great day, and I will see you in the next one.